Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So today we're going over our basic gear for our basic survival training. This is gear that you are required to have to actually go through the basic survival training through our company at Survival Living LLC. So first thing, let me go and break everything down for you. Although we have all this information on our website, I want to do a video in detail of what we're going to be using. First thing you need, a backpack. It doesn't have to be this particular backpack. This one here I just recently got, I don't know, about a month ago. Love it. It's large enough for everything I need. It's expandable. Parts and pieces can be removed. So you need a good backpack, all right? Now, we've got some nasty weather coming in on our very first course. Temperatures down in the 30s at night, and it's going to be raining non-stop. This is why I say a poncho. Okay, now this particular poncho we've shown on our videos before. This one here actually opens up into a tarp-like surface. It's large enough, this is why I like this, to cover the backpack while wearing it. All right, so this thing here will open up into a tarp structure. It's like 5 by 7, so it will actually open up and actually make shelter with this. And of course, it's got its grommets in the end. That's why I like this particular poncho. So poncho is number one. You need a poncho. Please don't show up with those fitted ponchos like a rain slicker jacket. That's not what we're looking for. I clearly say a poncho because when it comes to water collection by rain, we want a poncho. So that's what you want to go with. Next item, there's nothing's in order here, guys. A 3 foot by 3 foot squared cloth material. This is for char cloth. When we start making char cloth, you need to have cloth material to make this. The reason I want it so large is, well, you can use it for a towel for one, all right, because we've got rain coming. Also, if you don't get it right the first time, you burn up and stuff, you have extra material to do that. So, cloth material. I've got extra clothing right here. This is just because on the additional items you can have, I say bring extra clothing. We got cold temperature, so I got thermals, got my shamog, 2 pairs of socks. These are wool socks. Things are awesome. And a flannel shirt on top of a jacket. Don't forget to bring your jacket, guys. All right, moving on. This is not a required item, but you can definitely bring this. There's a lot of items, additional items that you can bring on the website. This is a sleep mat. This is one of those backpack sleep mats. You just blow it up, and it's actually very comfortable. It doesn't have to be this particular one. You can get all kind of different ones, as long as you have a small backpack one. I don't want to see giant air mattresses out in the woods. One, you're the one that's got to tote that. 2, it's not going to fit inside your shelter. So, a personal air mattress for your backpack. Speaking of backpack items, we have the Arcturus survival blanket. Now mine in particular, I've already got my toggles and stakes already made up because while instructing, it's just easier for me just to have the items on hand and show you how to manufacture them. But that way I can actually pass them around. So this is actually used for our ground cover out here. Now these can be used in an emergency situation as an emergency blanket to keep your body heat trapped. Also, you can build shelters out of it. I have not had the best luck with building shelters out of these because I actually ripped mine. I did a film and I was making it and I ripped it. I believe I was doing a plow point at the time and it tore right down the seam. But that's why I say keep Gorilla Tape, all right? I don't want to see duct tape out here. I want to see Gorilla Tape. It doesn't have to be the 2-inch wide one. It can be, actually this is more than 2 inches. It can be the thinner one. I think it's like 1.5 inches. It doesn't matter as long as it's Gorilla Tape. Gorilla Tape will hold up in the moisture and it will adhere in wet conditions. This is why I use this over duct tape. So, survival blanket, Gorilla Tape. Next up, like I said, this is not in order. Multi-tool. It doesn't matter what brand you're using. This one here it's on our website. It's one from Amazon. I love it. It works very well. This one in particular, on the multi-tools, guys, I want you to be able to have a folding saw on your multi-tool. It's going to be very important during the course. All right, so a multi-tool with a folding saw. Moving on, we've got an actual folding saw. This is the Corona. Doesn't have to be this particular brand. This one here has been very, very sturdy and very reliable for me. You will need an actual folding saw. All right. Carbon blade. All right. This is the Mora. It needs to be carbon. The reason being is because when we get into flint and steel, you're going to need to make a spark. All right. Carbon is just very, very handy to have. So it doesn't have to, I don't want to see samurai swords and stuff like that, guys. There's no need. There's no need for machetes. I don't want to see machetes out there. All right. As a matter of fact, during the basic course, you do not need a hatchet. You do not need an axe. When we go into the advanced course, we'll talk about that. But for the basic, you're not going to need that. So, carbon steel blade. Headlamp. This is the Olight. It doesn't have to be Olight. We are affiliated with Olight, guys. But I've been using Olight on just about every single one of my campouts, unless I'm doing a review for another company. Olight, I've had this in for a long time. It works very well. With your headlamp, I want to see additional batteries. Make sure you bring batteries, because we are also working and surviving during the nighttime. If we decide to do a navigation course at night, you're going to need your headlamp. If we are manufacturing something at night, you're going to need a headlamp. If you got to get up and go pee in the middle of the night, you're going to need a headlamp. So, additional batteries. Next up, 100 feet of paracord. This is just regular 550 paracord. We get this from Planet Paracord, I believe it is, on Amazon. Good deal on theirs. 100 feet. Also, we've got, this is 132 feet of bank line. That's usually the section that they sell it in, unless you buy the larger one. This is tarred bank line. It is twisted, not braided. The reason why I go with the twisted one is because if I need to sew with this thing, I can actually separate it much easier and use it for sewing. So bank line is very important. You will need bank line. Moving on, a tarp. All right, guys, so we got multiple different types of tarps here. I don't care what tarp you bring. This is a plastic tarp. As you can see, this is like a Walmart tarp. These things run like 10 bucks. I've used these things multiple times outdoors. They work great. They just don't last as long on multiple trips. The fibers start separating, but they do last a very long time. This is a 6x8 tarp. That is the size I want you to bring, a 6x8 tarp. So we got that. I've got my fancy one. This is a 10x10 tarp. This is made out of that almost like a parachute material. It's actually really awesome. I carry this one. Well, I'm the instructor. But 6x8 tarp is what you want. All right. Now, I have made some special exceptions for certain people that have contacted me because their size is just a little bit off. So if you have a problem with the 6x8 tarp, contact me directly. We can discuss it. The reason why I say 6x8 tarp is because it fits good in your backpack once it's actually rolled up or folded up. Trying to find room between trees to set up a shelter outdoors, you're not going to get long spans of 20 feet and 12 feet. Most of the time when you're trying to build a shelter, you're lucky if you got 6 to 8 feet between the two trees that you're trying to build a shelter in. That's why we want a 6x8 shelter. And of course, the canvas tarp. Canvas tarps have held up the test of time. They last a very long time as long as you treat them very well. But they are heavy. So the choice is yours. I traded mine in for this lightweight tarp. It works very well. I've used the Walmart tarp for many years. So it's up to you on what brand and type of tarp you use. All right, moving on. Next up is your drum liners. Now, I require 4 drum liners. They are the 55-gallon drum liners. They are not cheap because you have to buy the whole package deal. I believe it's actually 6 mil is what I have wrote down on the website. Now, the reason why 6 mil is hard to puncture through is a very thick material. The reason why I want you to have drum liners, and I know that they take room in your pack. 1, you are making bedding material with your drum liners, getting yourself off the ground. But we have air mattress. The first night you'll get to use your air mattress. The second night is when you're putting your skills to the test, and you're gonna have to make your own debris shelter. Debris mattress. And these drum liners hold your material together, so you're actually laying on top of the debris and not the ground. So that is one aspect of it. The next aspect of it is for collection of material. If I'm getting you, having you get tinder material to make a bird's nest, I mean, you're going to be collecting a lot of fire material, and it just makes it easier to stuff it in these things and carry it with you. If we have time during the course, and hopefully we will, we've got many different aspects to cover in the course, and what we'll do is we'll read how everyone's reacting, how they're doing in the course. I also want to show you how to make a raised bed using drum liners as your mattress. So that involves building tripods and things like that. So there are uses for that. And also, since we're on the subject, dry bags. All right, I only require you to bring one dry bag. This is a 10-liter dry bag. Now, this goes hand in hand with the drum liners. All right, so mine, I keep my sleeping bag in. The reason being is because I want my sleeping bag dry when I need it. You want to keep your sleeping bag dry. You do not want to be curled up in a wet bag. All right, so that's why we have a drum liner. I mean, that's why we have dry bags. Now, with the dry bags can also be used for collection of water because they're waterproof. Hence another reason. Also, when I give you your food and other food that you might be bringing, I want you to, when we get to camp, you're gonna have to run your food up in a tree and get it away from camp. These dry bags work great for that as well. Now, with waterproofing, let's say you have your additional clothing, like we talked about. You only get one dry bag. Hence, the drum liners also work as a waterproofing availability to keep your clothes dry. The weather that we're running into this course, this particular time, a lot of your gear is going to get wet. So keeping your gear dry will aid you in your survival training. All right, next up, guys, we have this here solo stove. It is a camp pot. I have, I believe it's a 60 liter. 60 ounce stove pot, camp pot. These things are freaking awesome. It doesn't have to be solo stove, but you need a lid and be able to suspend it over a fire on a tripod. So you need a camp pot. Also, you're gonna need canteens or stainless steel water bottle style canteen. All right, so you're gonna need either two canteens or two of these. Now, the reason I like the canteen is because I have a nesting cup that comes with mine. You don't need that grill. That just came, I'd have bought that separate. You're gonna need a nesting cup, your canteen. I want you to have a wide mouth canteen. My nesting cup, I had purchased a lid. All right, works great, especially when you're trying to boil water and cook stuff. It just cooks much faster. With the bottle styles, get you a wide mouth bottle style. The reason being is because when we start teaching how to use toggles to dangle and suspend bottles of water over the fire, you want a large mouth on it. It makes it easier to work with. Okay, moving forward, what else we got here? Gloves. Good pair of leather gloves. I do not want to see those cheap cotton gloves that you see at Harbor Freight. The ones that's got the cloth and a little like suede and stuff like that. You know which ones I'm talking about. Those do not hold up. They do not trap heat, anything like that. Leather gloves do trap heat. So leather gloves, definitely a plus to have. All right, fire. We've got our ferrocerium rod with striker. This is the Bigfoot Bushcraft one. It doesn't have to be Bigfoot Bushcraft, but that's who we're affiliated with, and I do like their product. So you need to have a large ferrocerium rod. Also, a magnesium fire starter. I also have with me a magnifying lens for starting fires. I don't know how lucky we're going to get on this first trip because we got some nasty weather, but we'll give it a shot. Also, flint and steel. You need to have flint and steel. I do carry extra flint with me, but you really need to bring your own. Moving forward, 2 mechanical pencils. Paste speeds. Mine are glow in the dark. Freaking awesome. It makes it easy to see at night. MC2 compass. This is the Sunto compass. We have shown navigation course training on this one. You will need a compass, preferably this one here. You will need the specific map protractor tool like I had discussed in the video. You will need Waterproof paper notebook. You need to be able to write down notes and also navigations with this. And of course, I got a case just to put everything in. So all in all, guys, that is the gist of the materials that you will need during the course. Now, you can have additional items. If you go to the website, I have a list of additional items you can bring, extra food, because we provide 2 meals and 1 breakfast. All right, and then they're pretty large meals. So you will be fed, but if you want additional things like trail mix, whatever that you need that doesn't require cooking while we're hiking, you can bring it. You can also bring coffee, stuff like that. I will provide coffee. Unfortunately, it's Folgers, so if you don't like Folgers, bring your own. So we will be bringing Folgers. You can bring a cook stove, and let me see where mine is. All right, there it is. So additional items, you can bring your own personalized stove, and it is a backpacker stove. These small micro burners. I do not want to see big grills out there because you are going to be toting this. We've got a lot of hiking because we're going in between camps, and I am trying to teach you different things along the way. So something like this, if you want to have a coffee in the middle of the night, the fire's dead, whatever, you got a way of cooking, boiling up water. So yeah, you can definitely have this. So again, guys, definitely check out the website, survivallivingguide.com. There it has all the information on the course itself. It also has information on what gear you can bring and what gear is required for you to bring. All right, guys, so let me wrap this up. We have our course in just a couple of days, our first starter course that we're going to be doing. So I got to get everything packed up, everything ready to rock and roll. And for those that are showing up on the 20th, I'll be looking forward to meeting you guys. We got some nasty weather, so like I said before, make sure you dress accordingly. Make sure you got your poncho. Make sure you have warm clothes with you, because we're going to get hit by rain the entire time we're out there this trip. We're calling 80% rain, and it's all day, all night. Our temperatures are going to drop down into the low 30s to 30 at night, and it happens like that out in the woods. I don't want you to think because you live in a location where it's always cold, you'll be fine. The fact is, living in a location where you're always cold, you're also indoors. We're not indoors. Our protection is what gear we have the entire time we're out there. Now, thankfully, I have ways of getting us dry spots built along the course. I also have ways of creating hot tents and things like that in case there's any type of emergency or somebody just feels like they just cannot warm up. And of course, we have safety measures in place. If you run into an issue, we can get you out. All right, guys, looking forward to seeing y'all there.